Welcome back to another episode of Strange Bar and Grill. We got another strange, bizarre story coming your way. Now, this isn't necessarily a true crime story, but it's one of the most fascinating stories I've ever heard. And truthfully, it's one of the stories that kind of just scares the crap out of me. I won't say too much to give it away here, but I want you guys to hear it first and let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Some of you may have already heard this story before. But first things first, if you guys like what you're seeing, make sure to tip that like button, join that SBG family by hitting subscribe and hitting that notification button. All right, let's go. In 2004, Mike was in his final semester of college when he met a beautiful young woman named Katie. She made his heart skip, and he was just head over heels for her. He knew from the instant he saw her, he was just in love. And she played hard to get, but Mike pursued her for months and months. He even had to deal with a few of her, jealous ex-boyfriends and whatnot. But he eventually won her over. After college, the two moved in together. They both had great jobs, and after 2 years of living together, they decided to get married. And soon after that, Katie was pregnant with their daughter. Mike's career was taking off, just getting raise after raise. He was pulling in a nice fat salary. So ultimately, they decided, Katie, stay home, be a full-time mom, raise our daughter. And Katie was excited. This is what she wanted to do. She wanted to, spend all her time with her child and raise her. And Mike getting these nice raises and this nice career going, she was able to do that. And about 2 years later, Katie gave birth to their second child, this time a little boy. Mike loved his children. Every morning before going to work, he would kind of sneak off into their bedroom and kind of watch them sleep, and just was just so in love with his kids. And he thought they were just so beautiful and just great kids. And they were great kids, awesome kids. He just doted on them any chance he can get. Family was so important to Mike. That was just his number one priority was family. They would all eat dinner together every night, at the dining room together. After dinner, they'd go out and play games, family games, board games, you name it, before, sending the kids off to bed. Mike had a perfect life. He was a lucky man. He just had a beautiful wife, beautiful children, nice career going for him. Everything was just going perfect for him. So one night after playing games with the wife and kids, the kids went off to bed. Katie went off to go to kind of do her personal thing, get some alone time. Mike decided, I'm gonna sit down, watch a little TV on the couch. So Mike sits down, and while sitting on the couch, Mike noticed something strange about the lamp. It was just kind of sitting off to the side of the TV, kind of in his peripheral vision. He noticed that the perspective of the lamp seemed odd. It seemed off. It was almost like it was inverted. It was still in 3D, but it was just wrong. Something was just off about it. He couldn't quite place his finger on it. It was a square red lamp with a square base, had 4 feet on each corner of the base, and a white square lampshade on it. So he kind of looks around his living room, and everything else seems normal. With his lamp, just something's off about it. He went to the lamp, stared at it for a while, and it still just was inverted. It's still in 3-dimensional, but something about it was just off. He just didn't quite understand. He didn't quite get it. So he went back and sat on the couch, and he kind of thought to himself is something wrong with me? Am I sick? Am I having a stroke? A brain aneurysm? What's going on here? Something's clearly wrong with me. But Mike said, you know what? I'm overthinking this. I'm sure I'm fine. I'm sure I'm healthy. It's just maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I've just been working too hard. And that's why this lamp looks weird to me. It's probably nothing. No big deal. So Mike just turned the TV on and said, I'm gonna watch a little TV like I planned to do. So let's do that. So Mike turns the TV on. He's trying to pay attention to the TV, but at his peripheral, he just sees that lamp, and it still looks strange. It's still inverted. So he's just what is up with this lamp? So he paused the TV and he looks towards the lamp. And this time the lamp was upside down. Instead of the lamp standing on its base, it is upside down, standing on the lampshade. Now Mike was really concerned. He knew this was super bizarre. Something is going on. This is not normal. And he became transfixed on this lamp, and he stared at it the rest of the night. And the next morning, he did not get up and go to work. He stayed home and looked at that lamp. Something just was not right about this lamp, and he could not stop staring at it. And of course, Mike being a family man, loving his family, he did not mention this lamp to his wife and kids. He did not want to spook them. He didn't want to freak them out. Apparently they didn't notice the lamp because they weren't saying anything, but something was wrong and Mike knew it. And of course that night, Mike and his family, they had their typical routine, dinner and games with the family before everybody going off to bed. And that night, Mike could not sleep. He just had that lamp on his mind, and so he decided to sneak downstairs and go look at that lamp again. He just became obsessed looking at this lamp. And for the next 3 days, he would sneak downstairs every night to go look at this lamp. And each time he would go downstairs to look at this lamp, the lamp would be in a new position, like it had morphed and changed from the previous day. And during this time, he actually stopped going to work. He also stopped eating during this time. So of course, Katie, she became worried. She was like, what's wrong with my husband? Everything was fine and he seems to have something troubling him, something wrong with him. What's going on? So Katie, being the wonderful wife she is, she tried to get Mike to talk to somebody, a professional, some kind of psychiatrist, counselor of some sort, to try to talk to Mike and talk out his problems. But by this point, Mike's mental health is rapidly declining and it's getting worse and getting worse. And of course, Katie was freaking out. She was trying to plead with Mike, like, please talk to me. What is going on? Just tell me something. I just need to know what's happening with you. But Mike would not tell her about the lamp. He just couldn't bring himself to tell her because, of course, she would think I'm insane. She would think I'm crazy. Finally, Katie had enough. She took the kids to her mother's house and slammed the door behind her. Once that door slammed, the lamp just started doing even more strange stuff. It's almost like it triggered it. The lamp started kind of growing deeper and wider and morphing and just kind of like growing to the sides of the room and just encompassing the room. And it just grew and grew, and at some point, all Mike could see was red. He couldn't even see the room anymore. And it was at this point he heard a bunch of voices and screams and just all these strange, weird noises he's never heard before coming from inside his house. And he became aware of pain, just this sharp pain in his head. Just like, where the hell did this pain come from? It's almost unbearable. And when he opened his eyes, he was laying on the ground at his college next to a building, just like on the concrete. He was just laying there, and he's surrounded by all these onlookers, and their eyes are wide, and they're looking, and they look concerned. They're all looking at him. He was completely confused because he didn't know any of these people. They were complete strangers. So he kind of desperately started panning the crowd, and he's just like, where is my wife and where's my kids? He didn't see them, so now he's even more confused. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a cop burst through the crowd and kind of scooped Mike up and kind of ran him to his police car and threw him in the back of the police car face down. And Mike, super confused about what's going on, he kind of popped up in the back of the squad car and he said, hey, what is going on? I don't know what happened. What's happening here? And the police officer would tell him, hey, you were attacked by this 325-pound football player. And keep in mind, Mike's 120 pounds. And the cop would go on to explain that the football player punched you in the face, you flew backwards, hit your head again on the concrete, knocking you unconscious. You also lost some of your teeth as well. And Mike, still confused, asked, where are my wife and kids? Where's Katie, my daughter, and my son? The cop would say, I don't know anything about that, but we're taking you to the hospital and we'll get it all sorted out there. We can contact your wife and kids. And that's when it all clicked for Mike. He had his epiphany. That lamp is not real. The house is not real. His wife, his kids, none of that is real. The last 10 years of his life just were not fucking real. It was all a hallucination while he laid unconscious after getting attacked. So that day, Mike was brought to the hospital. He eventually made a full recovery, but he also suffered about 3 horrid, terrible years of depression. He was grieving the loss of his wife and his 2 children, and also dealing with the knowledge that they never truly existed. And he was just so scared that he was going insane. He would cry himself to sleep. He would try to go to sleep at night and dream and hoped that he would see Katie in his dreams and be able to maybe speak to her. But she never came to him in his dreams. So while he never did see Katie, he would sometimes see his son in his peripheral vision. And in his visions, his son is perpetually 5 years old, and his son appears to be trying to tell him something, but he can never understand what he's saying. All right, guys, that was today's story. That was a strange one. Like I said, that one scares the hell out of me for some reason. Let me know what you guys think about that story in the comment section. Does that make you think like, hey, what if one day I wake up and I'm in this matrix or something, or I wake up and none of this is real and my family's gone and I just have a brain injury or something, right? That's why this one scares me, because just like I couldn't imagine the last 10 years of your life were a hallucination. That's bizarre to me. And what do you guys think about that? Do you think this is a true story? This is touted as a true story. I don't know if it 100% is, but what do you guys think? Could something like this happen? I mean, when you dream, time does seem to be different from normal, I guess. So maybe it's a possibility. I don't know. But anyway, guys, if you guys are new to my channel, make sure to tip that like button, join that SBG family by subscribing and hitting that notification button. All right, guys, be good, be safe.